All right, y'all, we back. We back with Funny at the Grandmama. Yeah, day 141 of the Young Thug YSL Rico trial. I think the judge act like she have her days. You know what I mean? It seemed like she have her days, and when she want to be firm and when she don't want to be firm. We're gonna continue where we left out at, and y'all don't forget to subscribe and like, okay, the channel. If you want to become a mod to help out the channel, I really appreciate it. My thing is this. I think that what the state is doing is they trying to plot the defense, but they can't. It's hard for them to try to place the defense as evident in their decision making. So let's check this out.
Us and Shannon being in jail and Miles in jail and
See?
protection in jail.
All right, so are there other objections other than what was already?
It's more like, if I can't get Thug, if I can't lock Thug up for life or punish him for life, I'm gonna get Shannon. I'm gonna get somebody, but I want either Thug or Shannon. Somebody gonna go down for it, but that ain't good, y'all. It's just like somebody accusing you just because you the smartest one in the classroom. So you're gonna blame that person because they the smartest one in the classroom, and everybody look up to that smart person in their classroom? That's wrong.
Voice with regard to the one before, because my ruling would be the same.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So then that takes us down. That would then cover how many of those, Mr. Adkins? When do we get to the end of that?
So, Your Honor, we should. Embedded in this is Jameson.
What I can say about this judge, the difference between her and Glanville is she's taking notes, she writing stuff down, and she keeping up with this trial. She keeping up with paperwork, she keeping up with the reference number, she keeping up things that they add, that the state is adding and subtracting without letting people know. But not letting the defense know, and without letting the judge know. Now, I don't forget his name, guy right here. I don't know if he tried to ease a reference number in there or add a reference number in there, but the judge caught on to it. Listen to this. Not right here, but listen to this.
Your Honor, the state's happy to articulate relevance. I do think legally to exclude evidence, the state feels so. This specific call, what ends up happening is Miles Farley is charged with the murder of Shamel Drinks. He ends up going to Fulton County Jail. Before he goes to Fulton County Jail, they work on trying to get him protection, specifically to figure out where in the Fulton County Jail he is, because there's a gang war going on and people are getting murdered. And so what ends up happening in these next series of calls...
So it's a gang war is going on and people get murdered. How y'all know that the gang is involved in whatever been murdered, whoever been murdered? I mean, people can decide to go ahead on and do what they got to do because they know that y'all going to blame the gangs. So you got to be able to prove that that's what really going on. That war is going on without saying it's a war.
This is, they are working on, hey, when he gets to the Fulton County Jail, let us know where he is so we can protect and keep eyes on him. And what ends up happening is 9 Deuce, YFN, the same rival street gang that the state has been discussing with the murder of Donovan Thomas and also Shamel Drinks, teams up with some younger Goodfellas. Goodfellas is a very prominent gang in both prison and jails in the state of Georgia.
See, listen, y'all. Did you notice since I've been looking at this case, I noticed they've been named a variety, numerous gangs, right? And the violence of the other gangs But when they speak of YSL, they don't speak of YSL like that. They wants to make YSL the head of everything. I don't understand it. I don't understand the how can we get how we got here. How we got right here with this particular game. And then the other violent gangs still on the street doing the same thing. Don't pretend that they not, because they are. What they got to do with YSL? So y'all, what the state is doing is punishing YSL for other gangs. And that's not fair. That's not right. Because they don't have nothing to do with them.
And what ends up happening is that there's a lot of the next series of calls, for the most part, are all going to discuss Miles getting locked up, where is he going, and then he ends up getting jumped by rival gang members who allied with Goodfellas, and that creates a serious problem because...
Well, I say it like this. You get in the gang, you know what come along with the gang. You get in the street, that's what you get in the streets. So it's what it is, what it is. It is what it is. It ain't like that, okay, I'm going to send you out there and do that. Come on, y'all. Be for real.
Funk, for a cleaner, he is pled, was a defendant in this case, and his defendant, William's brother. YSL is a hybrid gang, as the state alleges, is a Goodfellas member. So once this happens, there's a series of phone calls between Garlington, Funk, and high-ranking Goodfellas members in the Fulton County Jail of saying, people are telling me that YFN teamed up with Goodfellas. We didn't bless off on that. My apologies, Madam Court Reporter. So I want to give that backstory because there's like, you need to listen to these calls to unpack what I just proffered to the court.
Okay. All right, that seems pretty relevant. 4 and 2561. Unless are there new objections? I mean, if these are all kind of the same series of same substance.
Your Honor, you're using the reference numbers?
I mean, I said them both.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. So
And I say that was the dumbest question to ask a judge.
Report. There was a shooting the night before at Waters Road, and the caller notices that her vehicle window is shot out the day that she's making this call.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a brief 911 call where she's calling to let them know that her car window has been shot out. She doesn't know who shot her car window out, but she's calling the police when she...
But y'all already did that. Hold on. We already heard that. Unless they mention it. But I remember him mentioning this before. I don't know what day it was. And that's when I said they shoot out people car window all the time.
With the window shot out from a bullet. And so the objection was confrontation clause and hearsay because it's not an ongoing emergency. The state's position is it's not a confrontation clause issue because she is not making this phone call for purposes of future prosecution. She doesn't even know who did it or give her thoughts of who might have done it.
So how you going? We don't need to hear nobody thoughts about nobody car window being shot through. I mean, I done been in a situation like that when I was young in Atlanta where I wake up in my passenger side. You just have to have insurance. But I just can't say this gang did it or that gang did it. It could be a fool did it. Jesus.
And in terms of hearsay, although the shooting itself happens prior to her walking out and seeing her window, the state feels that there's two reasons of the hearsay.
First of all, state can't feel nothing. And then y'all talk about other people's terminology or terms or how they pronounce and say words. I mean, feel? You can't feel for nobody else. You can't, no way you can feel for nobody else. Think. Say think. You can't feel for nothing.
One being a present sense impression impression in terms of she walks outside and notices her car window is shattered from a bullet, and she calls 911. And two, in her mind, even though her demeanor on the call, which is not dispositive of if it's an excited utterance or not, but seeing your car window shot out is to me something that would reasonably generate some level of excitement in a reasonable person. And so she's very calm on the call in terms of her voice, but the state feels that either a present sense impression and or an excited utterance for calling the police satisfies the hearsay exception. And that's the state's position in terms of the 911 audio, Your Honor.
Okay, and then is the Wetters Road shooting, there's other evidence of that, right?
So, Your Honor, there's multiple shootings at that address.
Okay, the Wetters Road shooting from March 12th, 2022.
Yes, Your Honor. And so this 911 call and her CAD report, when she calls to report her window being shot, is the court asking if we're going to call the responding officer who went to examine her car, or?
No, I mean, the evidence is in or is going to be in that there was a shooting at Wetters Road on March 12th, 2023. I guess I'm wondering, because of the length of this trial.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What is the importance of that woman phone call? What is the importance of us listening to somebody tell us what they feel that the reason why that happened in their neighborhood? Come on, y'all. We got a big RICO. We ain't even got to the RICO part yet. Y'all procrastinating with this thing. Come on, can y'all get three more prosecutors and get rid of these three?
Already, and it's apparent.
I like this.
How much longer y'all think this is going to take? But what does it add, I guess, that somebody else's window got shot out?
So, Your Honor, this is all intimately wrapped into the Chanel Drinks murder, where Mr. Ford and Mr. McMiller are murdered by who YSL believes is YFN members, IF gang members, the same group.
Why? But YSL and the IF gang is not the same people. They are not the same folks. And you up there listening to Miss Hilton. Miss Hilton don't know what she's talking about.
Group in 2022 that's tethered to Donovan Thomas's group in 2015 and the murder we're on currently. And what the wiretaps we played earlier, where there was conversation, and by earlier I mean a couple weeks ago, where there was guns in the attic, when they're all hiding and they're running outside, and we played that is Waters Road. So there's a number of shootings that we believe was from YFN at YSL. And so this 911 call is a innocent.
Hey, y'all see he turns that word from feeling to believe. That's what he should have been saying in the beginning, believe, not feel.
That in terms of not the intended target, the window is shot out and calls police. And her, I believe, either boyfriend or husband, Mr. Whetstone, is going to be a witness we will be calling. So the state wanted this chronological or timeline is important. It's a brief 911 call, and there's obviously an accompanying CAD report. So the state feels that it's relevant for the jury because they need to understand the sequence of events in terms of the back and forth shooting and what transpires.
Okay, but do they need to know that somebody had their car parked on the street?
Thank you, Judge. I just told y'all that. What? Thank you, Judge. I just sat here and told y'all what is it this got to do with a RICO? I just told y'all my window don't been broken downtown close to my apartment before. What that got to do with what's going on with the YSL? What that got to do with IF gang? What that got to do with what? That don't mean that a gang did. It could have been your ex-boyfriend. It could have been a jealous woman. It could have been a fool. We don't need that. Let's get to this RICO. Y'all some lazy prosecutors, boy. That's my opinion.
Hard. A stray bullet hit them.
It's right.
It hit their car, not them. Their car.
So, Your Honor, in terms of the relevancy and the low legal standard of it,
I'm not saying it's not relevant. Do you need it?
the state believes we do, and it's
Okay, y'all are gonna have to start picking some stuff that you just. I mean, this case can't go on forever.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you. Anything can be relevant, but the thing is, let's get to the case. Y'all sitting up here at this table trying to look cute, don't got your hair cut all and all that, and trying to be pretty and stuff, but y'all ain't taking care of no business with this case. That ain't nothing that we need to be worrying about right now. Let's get to this RICO. If y'all don't get to the RICO, get down to the nitty gritty. We gonna be sitting him forever. Y'all just want a job and get a paycheck. We want to get to the point so these folks can move on with their life. And you can get you another trial. Get them, Judge.
Feels like it's going on forever, but there's got to be something that y'all can say, you know what, I think we ought to be able to prove our case without that. And this kind of seems like one of those things. And I know that there's not, there may or may not, well, I think there's just kind of a standing cumulative waste of time.
I believe that the state is afraid to touch this case like they really supposed to. Y'all got to get rid of them two prosecutors quickly and get somebody. D3 the man too. Because every time he get up there and tell some, every time he get up there with get a witness, he ain't doing nothing himself. He got the easy part. Get him, Judge.
By the defense, but I as the court, trying to the extent possible, manage this litigation, am raising that sua sponte to the extent that there's not a defense objection. Is this that, I mean, even whomever, the boyfriend or the husband coming in to testify to it, I mean, if you are establishing the Waters Road shooting anyway, which you are, it just doesn't seem like this is really necessary.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I understand I'm struggling for a response because in terms of what is, it's difficult for me to say what is necessary versus what is relevant and admissible in terms of and useful for the jury making their decision. What is necessary in a case is a hard question to answer.
I know.
And so the state is, Ms. Latners is testifying. When this comes up, Ms. Latners will be addressing a number of 911 calls and CAD reports that all tether and are connected with this timeline of events. And so the state felt that in terms of brevity for this short 911 call and CAD report anchors a timeline for the jury and is helpful. The state's not intending on calling the officer.
How can that timeline from that lady which wouldn't have been shot? Y'all, it's a lot of people when it's been shot, but why is this lady, this particular, why y'all can't get them? Oh gosh, I'm so sick of them.
That's good. Okay.
And so the state felt that this was I believe Ms. Latners could testify about these two items in probably under 5 minutes.
She probably can, but 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there and 10 minutes the other place. If she's already going to be testifying to 911 calls that came in closer to time, is she going to be doing that?
She's going to be handling a number of 911 calls and CADs, Your Honor, that tether both the Shamel Drinks murder, the murder of...
So I hope they ain't talking about that same dispatcher woman that they got, that the only dispatcher woman, I hope they ain't about to call her back in there. They ain't doing no work. The state ain't doing no work. Please don't bring that woman back in here. I know she ain't the only dispatcher that received. Is she the only dispatcher that received gangs calls? All them dispatchers that Atlanta has, and she the only one that y'all can bring in the courtroom. We tired of looking at her and listening to her. And she ain't the only dispatcher. That's the only dispatcher want to fool with y'all. Some of them folks don't retire. Some of them people don't quit and everything.
Mr. Ford and Mr. McMiller, and the multiple shootings at Waters Road, one of which this is a 911 call in response.
So is there going to be other evidence that either has come in or will come in that this shooting at Waters Road occurred on March 12th of 2022?
One brief moment, Your Honor.
Okay.
They about to lie now. Hills about to get them to lie. There go Lil. She been to lie with her too. That's her partner. In crime. Why they...
Your Honor, currently, because the state intended to play this cat at 911 call, there's not, like, we are not calling other witnesses to discuss this specific day.
Which is the day after?
March 12th, correct, Your Honor. So currently, in terms of the state's witness list and what the state intended to introduce, this 911 and CAD.
Y'all got to go ahead on into what the state always got talking about. They got something introduced, and they ain't introducing. Y'all ain't seeing what I'm saying. They ain't introduced nothing. State ain't doing nothing. Fall break is next week, y'all. State ain't did nothing. They ain't intent to prove nothing. They keep adding on. They building a case as we go. And the judge see that now. They don't have nothing. Nothing. They are building a case as we go off the defense and what the defense is saying. She don't even need to play that part of that lady. Stop wasting your time, Your Honor, and be truthful to yourself about this case. You don't need that.
This is the way y'all are introducing that the shooting occurred at Waters Road on March 12th?
There's two different there's two different shootings, Your Honor. But in terms of her
When's
car
the
window
other
being
shooting?
shot out, March 16th.
Okay, so let's not worry about that one. March 12th. This is the only way that y'all are establishing a shooting at Waters Road on March 12th, yes or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
That ain't good.
The state can call other witnesses or evidence about that shooting, but we intended to call and introduce this cat report 911 currently.
I understand that y'all want to. Was that the only evidence that y'all were going to put up that this occurred on March 12th? Was this 911 call and boyfriend or husband and the discovery that on March 13th this window was shot out? That's how y'all are going to establish a shooting on March 12th?
In order to cut down witnesses, Your Honor, we have other witnesses. I mean, we could call Ms. Zachary, we could call the responding officer, but in order to shorten, we get the complaint that we need to shorten the case, and so what we're trying to do is there's a 911 call. There's two 911 calls. There's a 911 call from March 12th.
Okay, are you planning to introduce that?
Yes, that's the day before.
Okay, but after the shooting occurs, correct?
The 911 calls as the shooting occurs, the woman is in her house and she's like, they're shooting down my street.
Okay,
Yes.
so why isn't that enough?
Because this was the further evidence of that. So that's why we're playing the two 911 calls, because the March 12th call.
They don't know what they're talking about.
Right, there shows that she called, the first caller never went outside, all she said is there's shots fired. On March 13th, when that witness goes outside, she sees that her car has been riddled by bullets. Now, there's additional evidence that Ms. Zachary would bring in that her daughter heard the gunshots the night before, but we're not bringing that in. So what we're trying to do is tie in the first call from March 12th.
To be honest with y'all, it don't make no sense. We hear gunshots all the time. Back in the days when I used to stay in Capitol Home was a project. I stayed there a year. Down in the cut down there where Muntu all them were hanging at. That's where they sold. That's where things were going on. But it don't mean that they were always. It could have been firecracker. But still, just because somebody's daughter was in there laying down, don't be trying to make this sensitive. You got to protect your family. That's all I got to say. You have to know what to do when you're living in a different situation and circumstance. I don't even think that they need to present that. They can just talk about it. I mean, come on now. It's other things they can be doing.
12th, and then the call from March 13th. There's more evidence, but we're trying to, as best, get in what is relevant to establish that there was a
That
shooting.
ain't relevant.
All of these shootings are in response to what happens in February with Wyatt and Lucci getting stabbed.
Is it riddled with bullets?
Today we're going to be showing.
When you say, excuse me, maybe I shouldn't say riddled with bullets, but there are bullet holes in her vehicle.
What you standing up for, love? Because y'all know y'all with some crooked stuff right here. Y'all want to get somebody in that stand and you want to call the witness up there. That's what y'all want to do. Y'all want to call this particular witness up here and y'all and traumatize them on the stand. I don't think you need it, Judge. And then Miss Love, sit down with your yellow jacket on.
How many?
I believe there's one to her vehicle. Your
Okay.
Honor.
Y'all can no. Just no.
Thank you.
We have got to figure out.
Thank you, Judge. Shut that woman up. Sit her down. Now, enough is enough. Thank you for getting real with them three stooges. Thank you, Your Honor. Now, enough is enough. Love don't know what she talking about. She ain't doing nothing. They ain't doing nothing. They ain't nowhere in the world we should be still right here. And then they already done had young Dolph trial, some of it.
Some things that we can do without in this case, and this is one of them. And not because it's hearsay or confrontation clause. Just because it's just too much.
Thank
Waste
you.
of time. Okay, let's move on to the next.
Your Honor,
Yes.
may I just ask for clarification? Does that also apply to Frederick? I believe it's Frederick Whetstone, the boyfriend that lives there.
Yes,
Okay.
he doesn't need to testify either.
Okay, thank you.
If we have established the shooting occurred, we don't need more people
Thank you.
establishing that the next day they discovered that the shooting occurred.
Here she go.
All right, let's move on to the next.
Your Honor, may I
Yes.
have some clarification? Just the court is excluding the 911 call. What is it that the court is excluding?
Yes, that 911 call from whomever the next day that she discovered that there was a bullet to her car.
Okay.
And whoever that is, the boyfriend or the husband, who was going to come and say, yeah, there was a bullet to the car.
Okay, he wasn't only going to testify to that. And
What
I know
else
that
was he going to testify to?
this is a person, she and he, who have been living next to this particular location for some months at least.
Okay.
They see who comes and goes, and they see what cars, what vehicles come up to.
No, you don't need that. Exclude that because that means hearsay. That could be hearsay. They can say anything. They might not even like their people. They might not even like where they live. They might not like what's going on. No, don't use that, Judge.
The location.
Okay.
They see the nature of the interaction of people with the location. And
Say no, Judge.
that particular night goes, as Ms. Hilton said, she heard what she thought was gunfire.
What she
And
thought.
We are, of course, adhering to the court's ruling regarding the 911 call, but she heard what she thought was gunfire. She saw evidence of it. They saw evidence of it.
She didn't see who it was.
But
Okay, but he's not going to testify that the girlfriend, heard gunfire.
no,
Okay.
he's not to test. No, he's no.
So, whomever this person is, the boyfriend or husband, is going to come say, here are the comings and goings that I noticed over the course of the last few months, including the night of this shooting. Here's who I saw, or here's what cars or whatever.
Right.
Okay, that's fine.
This is what we anticipate from that particular witness. The female, the young woman that Miss Hilton mentioned earlier, she, in addition to showing us, or in addition to having that bullet hole in her car, she has met with us and shown us the bullet holes in her house.
So what?
We don't have those photographs. I'm just telling the court what.
Was she going to testify also?
We took her name off the list.
Okay.
In an effort for brevity's sake, but I'm just letting the court know that these people who live next door to that location had more to talk about than just a bullet.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's fine.
Well, Your Honor, in response.
Now the judge don't set up that Miss Love don't have the judge to change her mind. Judge, you can't be doing that. You flipping flopping.
And I'm going off of memory. The recorded statement that is really the only record we have of what Mr. Whetstone would be adding.
What's the name of this guy?
I believe I'm being accurate with Mr. Whetstone, but
Wesley?
Whetstone.
Whetstone, okay.
And the issue I have is, and just to be clear, Mr. Whetstone, as I understand it, is not testifying. Oh, I saw a Audi with this tag number. I know. I'm just using Shannon as an example. I know Shannon, and I see him going in there. Mm-hmm. The interview he gave to the police, it was much more like, man, there's all sorts of stuff going on at that house, and it's ruining our neighborhood. Type generalized speak. I don't think that's.
And I like this man over here. You make that is the truth. In that video, you got when people be talking like doing wiretap and all that. Quay can be somebody else. Williams can be somebody else. They could be talking about a thug. When you calling out names, you got to be able to tell them what Quay are you talking about, what Tate are you talking about, what the name. You know, you got to be able to tell them that.
Thank you.
And then Ms. Westmoreland.
Thank you, Your Honor. So our objections is relevant and it's hearsay because one is I don't think that the state, or I have not heard the state provide any evidence that this is Frank. I don't think that, and on our sheet it says other party, but I haven't heard anything to establish that this is Frank Huber. Second is that there seems to be another party that is in the background. When the discussion between the two callers and reference to Quay, one of the callers seems to not know who Quay is, and he tries to guess around who's Quay. And then seeking clarity, someone else is in the background and says, you know, the Quay that was with such and such. We don't know who that person is in the background, so we're going to have a nested hearsay problem. Additionally, I think that it's not relevant. What you hear is a conversation of curiosity. Do you know where Quay is? What floor is Quay on? Is this something you want me to, do to Quay or tell Quay? No, Quay's good. Conversation in reference to Quay is over. So there's no furtherance of the conspiracy in reference to that portion of the conversation. So no furtherance of conspiracy, nested hearsay, and relevancy in reference to that portion.
All right. What's the state's response?
The state would like to finish playing the call. It has.
That'll help. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
But to be clear, I believe he says I'm Capo Frank on the call, but that's one of the
Marketing and.
Let's listen to this phone call, y'all. Irrelevant. They gonna. But what kills me about this is the state is playing the call, but they not gonna be sitting there listening. They're gonna be sitting there like they're on a cookout talking to each other. Nobody want to hear that mess. Only thing they want to do is sit down and talk. Look at the judge how she looking at them. Like y'all ain't doing no work in this case. The judge know what's going on. Yeah, what I don't understand is these here guys here know the phone is tapped. Why are they talking so much on the phones? Because they were set up to do this. Think about it. You know you don't talk that much on. You got common sense. You know if you from the streets, you know not to be talking so much on cell phone. You know that. They ain't that dumb. So I think it's somebody informer here.
Okay. Yeah, well, nigga ain't fuck with it. He don't even supposed to be stressed. My uncle ain't told me that, so I can let goddamn bro know. Yo, son ain't right, bro. Okay, then, good. Yeah, he trying to play up on the nigga so he can keep somebody around him and get something, like, yeah, bro. Don't be done. Them folks trying to goddamn, find the perfect time to goddamn wipe me know, bro. Yeah, that's just like, we had, like, you know, everybody around me got, you know what I'm saying, got some real shit going on. Yeah. Like, you know, I had, alright, what about little G-Baby? Y'all don't fuck with bro? Yeah, fuck with G-Baby, yeah. Listen, though, yeah, cuz. Yeah. So y'all got some shit going on with EI, though? Nah, all that shit straight, long they got down, all them niggas that was spreading that 3-6 okay, all them niggas like the main one, like the one that got a name, all them really been tapping in word, all them folks went up on the word. Yeah, nah, because goddamn.
So y'all gonna get a video and record a conversation that they ain't talking about nothing. Wasting time.
Unless nigga need to call down now, cause he supposed to be a dude. Yeah. One of my brothers that came down now, he over there with Lil Russell. They just beat Lil Russell ass. They just beat his little pussy ass. Boy. Man, shit, they know that shit goddamn, before Russell came on here, I already had no put a green light on if they ever goddamn run into these niggas to smash her. You ain't no got into it with my son out there, I ain't heard the niggas put a gun out on my son and goddamn and pull the slap goddamn my sister-in-law, my wife's sister. Yeah. Hell yeah. But goddamn wife told me let it go, you see what I'm saying? So I told her shit. I told the brother let it go. The folks like, man, hell nah, man, we don't want that nigga around there. Like, man, Wayne beat his ass though. Yeah. And he right anyway though. I don't even rock Russ like that. Russ be trying to play both sides, bro. Yeah, man. All this nigga like
This irrelevant.
I be trying to play both sides, bro. I already know you been here for the give me when I used to goddamn bring boots to the hood, right? A nigga like that used to goddamn already be giving nigga head trying to say about this shit, but one day to my face, so man. Yeah. Like, nigga, boo my man, I don't give a fuck what me and boo go. Nigga ain't finna fuck with her. Exactly. When I brought G-Baby out there, like, I told we got into a shootout, bro. I'm right there showing day. 3 niggas hop out with stick. You ain't tell me that. I ain't there. Hell no, you ain't tell me that.
Man, this ain't nothing. This ain't nothing but a bunch of gossip. I cut it, y'all.
Like, for real, bro, like, these folks don't want to be going like these are niggas that we know we gonna be with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got to speak on no name, but you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, no way the fuck these folks gone.
They on the phone doing all this talking.
No way the fuck you let these folks just get up on nigga like that, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, niggas lose, like, this shit crazy where a nigga loses. And these niggas really laughing, like, these niggas started because they like, that's all they been waiting on. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit crazy.
And y'all want to play this in court? Now see, y'all heard on that. Y'all heard on this phone call. He didn't witness anything. He said, "This just my opinion." Why do you want to play this in court? Nobody want to hear this mess, because this ain't even talking about nothing. Only thing that this phone call did, this wire phone call, is this man spoke of his opinion. And y'all heard he said, "This just my opinion." Why we need to play this?
Yeah, boy. Man, I'm trying. Hey, listen, man, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I be thinking that shit to the center, bro. Like, Charlie get so comfortable with a nigga, and he just want to. Like, I can't explain because I really don't know. But Charlie had nigga them motherfuckers.
See?
Like, so nigga be in the jail cell thinking all.
He just said he really don't know. He said, "This is my opinion, and I really don't know." So this is irrelevant. Come on, yeah, well, I'm so tired.
Not bad the ball, bro. Like, that shit be crazy, bro. Yeah, bro. Like, man, that shit crazy, bro. Knowing these folks mama crying, and you ain't making these nigga mamas and dads cry. Like, man, come on, bro. Like, that shit be wrong, bro. That shit be wrong. That's why I be telling, it be what I said. I'm like, she talk to you like, yeah. I'm like, man, tell y'all else, boy. I just want to hear your voice, make sure I just want to hear y'all niggas voice, cause y'all the niggas that I know, like y'all my little brothers, bro. Like, so when I know whenever I do get out, y'all be the one I call and be saying where y'all in and pull up. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all, like y'all niggas my close, like y'all niggas like on ball, but see that way, y'all my little brothers, and I know that way. I know.
And y'all want to play this?
To protect y'all and then vice versa, cause I see how y'all wrong. You know what I'm saying? So. Y'all the one that I'ma call whenever I do touchdown. Like y'all nigga want to pull up on. Y'all, you see how I run out there, bro? I don't be putting up on the other nigga ass, cause I know these niggas want to knock me out, bro. No niggas, I know it, but like
They over there doing homework while we listen to this bull mess.
I ain't know that nigga got with 5 TIG, bro. I ain't know that. Man, but you'll never know, like, these niggas hitting that shit. Yeah, Shawty feel like this. I know, like, the whole city know back there. Like, man, me no home ain't boys, man. We don't he lit like, you know, business shit, like, like, this here, on my face. But, like, I'm knowing he ain't going out by no, like no hoe. And get what, like, he been let on, bro, let me know what's going on. What you trying to get G-Bear? He ain't got no phone, trying to get him online. I can tell it there, the car. I'm just saying, like, the car. Okay, I got you, bro. Hey, man,
They ain't said nothing, and y'all want to play this.
You already know that, bro. I love you, bro. I love you, too. Alright.
So, Your Honor, just a couple things to address. On this call, when he's clarifying which quay, because both Mr. Huey and Mr. Nichols go by that nickname. Some people call them Quay, and so he says not JBS Quay, Jonesboro South Quay, which is defendant Huey, the one that got locked up with SB, and defendant Nichols and Stillwell are both charged with the murder and locked up on the arrest warrants for the murder of Shamel Drinks. So he clarifies that, and also investigator Viverito, who is going to be introducing these wiretap calls, the ones that the court deems admissible, she will be explaining items like that. So the jury should not be confused about this specific who he is referring to.
All right.
In addition, Your Honor,
Yes, Your Honor. I'll overrule that 403 objection. Go ahead.
And Your Honor, familiarity with what is going on in different criminal street gangs, some that you're allied with, some that you have a problem with or commit violence against one another with, is integrally important. So Demikion Garlington speaking with Capo Frank, again, this is after this protection of Miles Farley, a YSL member and also charged with the murder of Shamel Drinks. So this conversation, they touch about a lot of topics, and understanding who has a problem with.
How can you take a rap rap lyrics and to believe it, you know, unless it happened. You know what I mean? I can understand you could take a rap lyrics and talk about something that already happened. I can see that. How can, my question is this: how can you determine what I was thinking in the rap lyrics? You know, when I was rapping, I was just what popped to my mind. Either you can rap about something happened though. You can rap. But how can you determine, only way you can determine if what this person is saying is true, if this situation has happened, it attempt to happen. You know what I mean? But this is what they talk about right here.
And cash, but given we have these days off, not days off, but days in court addressing motions, I would like to. Yes, Your Honor, I would like to endeavor to provide this to everyone so that we can address it ideally tomorrow or Friday. So I'm going to try my hardest to get that redaction, Your Honor. An EI who is Eric Kendrick from Mechanicsville used to be 30 deep, then I believe he rolled up or kind of transferred his gang allegiance to Goodfellas / PFK, Play for Keeps, which is a subset of Goodfellas. And so when they're discussing this, Demekion says, I told EI